the run home, Scott. So let's make this one a bit more of it. We've been a little bit negative this morning, which is sort of par for the course for this podcast.
I call that truthful.
Let's go with the positives.
I call negative truthful.
Well, you take a look at the run home every week in your article on zerotackle.com, Scott. So let's start with Newcastle. I have been very impressed with them. I think their win over the Broncos over the weekend was great, and they can still technically win the minor premiership mathematically.
Yeah, mathematically speaking, realistically, they probably can't. They would need a lot of things to go right ahead of them and to win all of their remaining games. But they are the last team in the mix for the minor premiership at the moment. So there's still 6 teams who can technically win it. I think the minor premiership is realistically down to a 3-horse race. I think Penrith and the Roosters are both a good shout, and Cronulla, because Cronulla have got the easiest run in you've ever seen. They are playing absolutely nobody. I think Melbourne is their only semi-tough game, and that'll come in the last round, but Melbourne are not Melbourne at the moment, are they? So I think the minor premiership is probably down to a 3-horse race. I think you can lock in the top. I think we talked about this last week, and I don't think a whole lot has changed at the top of the tree. I think the top 5, you can guarantee they're going to play finals football. And then it is a race for 6, 7 and 8 between Newcastle, South Sydney, Canterbury, North Queensland, Manly and Canberra. Excuse me. I think at this point you can probably quantify that Melbourne are joining the teams that are no longer likely to play finals.
Crazy stuff. The Bulldogs as well. Let's go to you, Lee. What are your thoughts? They're in the 8th.
Same as last week. Yeah, same as last week. When you look at the NRL draw, you have to get the abacus out or take the shoes and socks off because of the buys, and there's still a few weeks where the buys are going to impact. If Newcastle do get into the finals, they've got the best situation ever. They get the buy in the last round, so they get to rest some players. They might get some injured bodies back. The Bulldogs' problem is that the Cowboys have got a bye still. And that bye, thrown in with the fact that they didn't just have their pants pulled down last week, the Cowboys. Somebody pulled their pants down, took them off and sold them to somebody else last week. It was that bad. That could galvanise the Cowboys. It certainly should galvanise the coach to try and get some kind of reaction out of them. Those couple of things combined could pay, could cost the Bulldogs in that place.
I'll just jump in here. The Cowboys also we're just talking about the Sharks run home. Well, the Cowboys probably have an even easier run in. They play the Titans, the Eels, the Tigers, and the Raiders. I have never seen.
What's wrong with the Eels?
That's another podcast.
I've never seen
another special.
I don't think I've ever seen the last 4 weeks quite that easy. So they should realistically win 4 from 4, which means they're safe. I think the big game is the Rabbitohs. At the moment, my projections have the Rabbitohs and Bulldogs as 8th and 9th, split by 4 and against. They play each other in round 24. That, to me, is probably the game that's going to decide.
And who's got the best for and against right now, Scott?
South Sydney by a significant distance ahead of Canterbury and the Cowboys for that matter. But I think the Cowboys will finish 2 points ahead of those two sides. And then it comes down to, Canterbury and South Sydney. They play in round 24. And I think that game there, circle it in your calendars, book out your, make sure you're watching it because it'll be the one that potentially decides who's playing finals footy this year.
I would just also like to point out for like the second week in a row, or maybe the third, that we've been doing this segment on the run home. We're not talking about the Warriors at all, and I think it's totally understandable because we're sitting pretty at third, but it's very clear we're probably not going to be doing much come finals time.
Well, the Warriors were better on the weekend, Phoenix.
Yeah.
They were playing the Titans. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a hard juggle because when do you start accelerating? The Sharks have started accelerating, but maybe they're better at doing it for longer. When do the Warriors finally be like, okay, let's hit the gas and go? Do we kind of strategic and wait for all that till week 1 of finals because we already know we're there? I guess it's unprecedented territory for them because they've never had this much success. So I guess for Andrew Webster, he's just like, can we sustain this? And if not, when do we start?
Look, I think we're going to find out a lot about the Warriors this week. They play Penrith in Auckland. If they are competitive or win that game, then you start talking about them as they've got a real chance at doing something this year. If they have their doors blown out at home, then sorry Phoenix, but I'll be waving them goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely agree. A big one coming up.